everyone asks the same question. Why does the Great Pyramid of Giza stop? Why, after 4,500 years, is its summit a massive, flat platform? The other pyramids on the Giza Plateau remain pointy, but Khufu's grand monument looks unfinished, decapitated. The common answer? Tomb raiders, ancient destruction, the simple, slow entropy of time. That answer is wrong. This wasn't a slow decay. The vast majority of the destruction we see today didn't happen in antiquity. It didn't even happen centuries ago. It happened in one specific year. The truth is not a story of ancient greed, but of modern convenience. And the motive is far more unbelievable and far more petty than any of us were taught. To find the culprit, we can't just be tourists. We have to become historical detectives. And the first clue is 2,000 years old. Our first witnesses are two of the most famous historians from antiquity, Diodorus Siculus in the 1st century BC and Pliny the Elder in the 1st century AD. Both men traveled to Egypt. Both men stood where we stand, gazing up at the pyramid. And crucially, both men measured what they saw. Diodorus Siculus stated that the platform at the top was 6 cubits long on each side. That's about 2.76 meters. A century later, Pliny the Elder measured the same platform. He gave a perimeter of 16.5 feet, which converts to a side length of about 1.22 meters. Now, these measurements aren't identical, but they tell us something profound. The average of their data points points to a flat top only about 2 meters wide. A little basic trigonometry tells us that a 2-meter-wide platform means the pyramid was missing only about 1.5 meters of its original height. In 4,500 years of history, that's nothing. That's the small single-stone capstone, the pyramidion, and maybe 1 or 2 courses of stone directly beneath it. This is our benchmark number 1. 2,000 years ago, the Great Pyramid summit was mostly intact. This proves, without a doubt, that the massive 10-meter-wide platform we see today was not created by the ancient world. The trail has gone cold for 1,000 years. We have to jump forward, past the fall of Rome, to the year 1200 AD. Our next witness, Abd al-Latif al-Baghdadi. He describes the pyramid's outer casing stones, the beautiful white limestone, as still being intact, and he measures the summit. His figure is 10 Turkish cubits, or about 5.78 meters. This is a vital clue. From Pliny to al-Baghdadi, over 1,100 years, the summit only widened from about 2 meters to 5.78 meters. The pyramid had lost, at most, another 4 courses of stone. A slow, understandable decay. But then, everything changes. Shortly after al-Baghdadi's visit, history records a massive earthquake that damaged Cairo. This, combined with a growing need for building materials, turned the Great Pyramid into the world's largest quarry. But they weren't quarrying the top, they were quarrying the outside. A French nobleman in 1395 witnessed masons using tackle to rip the smooth white casing stones from the pyramid's sides to rebuild the city. Once those stones were gone, the pyramid's core was exposed. And for the next 400 years, our data becomes a complete mess. When the casing stones were removed, travelers stopped measuring the summit and started counting the steps to get to it. The results were chaotic. In the 15th century, one traveler counts 212 steps. In the 16th, another counts 250. In the 17th, it's 208. In the 18th, 207, 260, 212. It's tempting to see this as the pyramid literally shrinking year by year. But the truth was discovered by Egyptologist Georges Guyon in 1978. He climbed the pyramid and realized the problem. The backing stones behind the casing were not uniform. One course of stone might be made of 2 or even 3 smaller, uneven blocks. Depending on the path you took up the pyramid, your step count would be wildly different. This entire era of data, hundreds of years, is useless. It's a black hole of anecdotal evidence. To solve this mystery, we need more than a step count. We need a measurement. We need a new benchmark. And in 1765, we finally got one. His name was Nathaniel Davidson, and in 1765, he did what no one else had bothered to do. He brought a measuring tape. Davidson didn't just count the 206 courses he ascended, he measured the individual height of each one. His data, unpublished at the time, is the most accurate survey of the pyramid until the famous Flinders Petrie, over a century later.
His original manuscript, which I tracked down, contains a sketch of the summit. And he gives us 2 crucial, case-breaking pieces of evidence. First, he describes the top course, Course 206, as being made of exceptionally tall or oversized blocks. These were not small, crumbling stones. They were massive, high-quality granite or limestone blocks that formed a strong, stable top. Second, and most importantly, he measures the platform. In 1765, Nathaniel Davidson recorded the summit's length at 5.23 meters. Let's pause. This is our benchmark number 2. In 1200 AD, al-Baghdadi measured it at 5.78 meters. In 1765, Davidson measured it at 5.23 meters. These numbers are virtually identical. This is a stunning revelation. It means that for 565 years, from the 1200s to the late 1700s, even as the casing stones were being stripped, the summit of the Great Pyramid remained almost completely undisturbed. The oversized blocks of Course 206 held everything in place. But today, the platform is 11.96 meters wide, nearly double the size. So what happened? We have now narrowed down the window for this massive act of destruction from 4,500 years to just 260. Between 1765 and today, someone climbed the Great Pyramid and with enormous coordinated effort ripped off 5 entire courses of massive, oversized stone blocks, widening the platform from 5 meters to 11. Who and when? The answer lies with the last group of people you'd ever suspect. The year is 1798. Napoleon's expedition has arrived in Egypt. With him, he brought an army of savants, engineers, artists, and scientists. 3 of them climbed the pyramid, and they just became our key witnesses. Jacques-Ange Grobert. He climbed the pyramid in late 1798. His measurements weren't great. He counted 208 steps, but he did cross-reference his data, and his notes confirm what Davidson saw, an exceptionally tall top course. As of late 1798, Course 206 was still there. Edmé-François Jomard and Jean-Baptiste Cécile. We know the exact date they climbed the pyramid, January 5th, 1799. They too counted the steps. Their number was 201, with the partial remains of 2 more for a total of 203. Wait, Jomard counted 208, Davidson 206. Now Jomard and Cécile count 203. The exceptionally tall, oversized course 206 was gone. So were courses 205, 204, and 203. Jomard, sensing he was at a crime scene, wrote this in his journal. On the day that I climbed it for the first time, January 5th, 1798, the platform was 30 feet 10 inches. I fixed the time because with time this platform widens. I found the remains of 2 steps which will soon disappear. They bore the traces of the recent removal of the adjacent stones. Traces of the recent removal. This is the smoking gun. The massive final destruction of the Great Pyramid summit, the removal of 5 entire courses of massive, oversized stone blocks, widening the platform from 5 meters to 11, happened in a window of just a few weeks. It happened in the last days of 1798. Jomard thought it was random vandalism by Arabs or visitors, but he was wrong. Think about it. This wasn't a few drunk tourists pushing over a rock. This was the removal of 5 entire layers of oversized, multi-ton blocks. This was a serious job, planned and coordinated in advance. But why? Why would anyone expend so much effort? It wasn't for the stone blocks. They were just core, not valuable casing. It wasn't for treasure. The motive was profit, just not in the way you think. In the 19th century, a famous pyramid guide named Ali Doudou explained the business of tourism to an explorer named Charles Piazzi Smith. He said that most tourists, by far, preferred to climb the Great Pyramid than to go inside it. The climb was the main event, the most profitable arrangement for the guides. But there was a problem. As Nathaniel Davidson's sketch of 1765 showed, the summit was small, irregular. It was barely 5 meters wide, cluttered with 12 oversized blocks. It was not a place suitable for a large, paying tour group to rest and celebrate their achievement. And that was the motive. The destruction in 1798 wasn't vandalism. It was a renovation. They didn't destroy the summit to steal from it. They destroyed it to make it wider, to make it more comfortable. They decapitated the greatest monument on earth to create a flat, 11-meter-wide platform suitable for chairs, tables, and hosting tea parties for wealthy Victorian tourists. The final, brutal scar on the Great Pyramid wasn't caused by an ancient pharaoh's rage or a tomb raider's greed. It was caused by a few self-centered individuals who wanted to improve the customer experience. That is the lesson, etched in stone in 1798, that we no longer can afford to forget. History is not just destroyed by time. It's destroyed by indifference, and it's destroyed by convenience. History is fragile. Subscribe, and let's uncover the secrets we were never meant to find.